going on, everybody? It's been a while. Haven't made any videos in a while. Turkey season came and went. I'll have some more content as far as that goes next spring, but application season has also come and gone, and as luck would have it, I pulled a pretty dang good elk tag, archery elk tag that is, I'll just go ahead and say it, in the state of Colorado. Burned quite a few points to get it, but with the new draw changes coming up in the next year, I thought no better time than to burn a bunch of points. So that is what I did. Double-digit points. I won't say exactly how many, but definitely double-digit points burnt, which is scary. Decade of your life to get a tag, there's a lot riding on it. Because of that, you want all your equipment and yourself to be in tip-top shape for that hunt that you waited so long for. So my main goal for the next 3 months is to get myself and my equipment in tip-top shape, ready for that elk hunt, so that the moment of truth, nothing goes wrong, I don't miss, nothing weird happens. And so I can climb the mountains needed to get to where the elk are at. A lot goes into that. That's a very broad plan moving forward, but first and foremost, you need something to shoot an elk with. And that is an arrow in this case. This season and the last couple seasons, I've been using and will be using these gold tip kinetic Pierce in 300 spine. I believe they're cut to 29 inches, carbon to carbon. Have a lighted nock, standard insert outsert or half out outsert system. I found some people complain about this, but I found it to be pretty dang bulletproof. Haven't had any issues except when I freaking blow an arrow right into a concrete or steel wall, so can't complain. Ooh, can't complain. Matthews V3X33 with the low pro quiver, HHA Tetra tournament sight, Hamskea Epsilon with the core mount, and I guess a UV grip and a somewhat cheap stabilizer. That's the bow setup. But first and foremost, you need something to shoot out of your bow. My arrows were in complete disarray after the last 2 deer seasons. They hadn't been fletched in 2 years. They hadn't had any TLC in 2 whole seasons. So I went through and ripped all the fletchings off, which they were starting to come off anyway because the glue was getting brittle. Before I get to shooting all these arrows, let's go back inside and I'll show you how I go about refletching my arrows. Let's do that. What's going on, everybody? As you know by the beginning of this video, I have an elk tag to prepare for. And step 1 for any big tag that you draw is getting your gear in working order. So I've had these arrows for about 3 years now, and they've been fletched up with these fletchings for better part of 1.5 years. Something I've found that happens to these arrows, or these fletchings, after about 1 year, maybe 2 years at most, is your glue will start to get really brittle, like really brittle, and it'll just start to crack off. So let me try to show you here. There we go. You see that fletching? That glue is really brittle, and it's starting to defletch there, starting to come off. So once that starts to happen, you can hear it crack a little bit there. Once that starts to happen on any of my arrows, I'll pretty much take all of them and just see how easy it comes off. Just rips off. So step 1 is to have arrows to shoot your elk with. So that's what I'm doing today, working on step 1. So got those ripped off. Next step, take your knock off, grab a knife or a defletching tool, whatever you choose, and I'm gonna scratch off as much of that glue residue as I can. Till I get it pretty clean, and then I'll hit it with some acetone to dissolve what little there is left. All right, now that I've got it pretty dang clean, almost down to the bare carbon, not very much glue residue left over at all, get it nice and squeaky clean with that acetone so that our new fletching will adhese good. Or a new vein. I should say it by its correct term, vein, not fletching. Clean arrow. I'm gonna put my nock back on. And this is an important step. I'm gonna do this with every arrow. I'm going to align my nock approximately to my arrow. Now, I don't think gold tips are spine aligned, but I just think it's something good to do just to try to keep everything as consistent as possible. Align your nock to that wrap on your arrow. Now, once you got all your arrows clean, nothing left to do but glue some veins on. So let's do that. Now, a lot of people really hate on these cheap Amazon fletching jigs, but I really don't think you can beat it for the price, and it does a good enough job. I mean, it's probably not as accurate or as easy to use as like a Bitzenberger or an AAE quick fletch or any, I don't even know if that's a real thing. It sounds real. Or any one of those more expensive fletching jigs, but it works. And I think you can get it for like 30 bucks on Amazon, and it comes with straight fletch and a helical fletch, and you can adjust your pitch of your vein with these tools or with these adjustments that are locked down crazy tight right now. Adjust your pitch of your vein, really quick and easy. Like I said, people don't like it. I think it works just fine, but that's just me. I can get veins pretty accurate and pretty good enough to probably outshoot me personally. So, take my vein, put it in. You can play with your own distances. I know what I like. There's a magnet on there. Keep it on. And I'm going to go for a slight offset, I think. I gotta get it set up, push it around till it's around where I want it on the arrow. And it helps to have your jig drilled into your table. However, I don't, because I don't have a table to drill it into right now. So once I got that where I want it, I'm gonna lock these down, keep everything consistent. Now, with this jig, you can do 4-fletch. It just takes switching out an internal part in there. But for my compound, I've been running 3-fletch and been liking it. No reason to add any extra weight to my arrows that I don't want, so I'm going for it. All right, so now I got that where I want it. I got it locked down. I use this Pine Ridge Archery instant arrow glue. Really like it. It adheres amazingly fast. And like I said before, I've never really been able to get more than 1.5 to 2 years out of any glue prior to it starting to degrade and crack and get really brittle on me. So I'm liking the Pine Ridge glue. Let me know in the comments what glue you prefer for your veins, and maybe I'll give it a try if I like it, or if it sounds like it works good. I'm not using very much glue. I'm just using about 4 very small dots of glue, and then I'm just pressing it down onto the arrow for maybe 10-15 seconds. And I think I did use too much glue on this arrow, but we'll see. Press it down 10-15 seconds, open it up, pull it off. Not too bad. Now I'm going to take my paper towel or a Q-tip once it's set for a second or two. Wipe any of that excess that comes into play. Just wipe all the beads down and turn it over and repeat. I'm going to do this for 2 more. And then I'm going to do the rest of my arrows. And catch you back out in the field. Get to shooting these brand new arrows. And there you have it. Quick and easy, fletch your own arrows, really cheap. Like I said, 30 bucks, buy your own veins. These are Boning X3 veins. I should have mentioned that before. They're really stiff, really quiet. Honestly, I feel like the vein puts a hole in the animal as well as your broadhead. So I really like them. Had really good luck with them so far. They don't come off the arrow very well at all, just like any other boning vein I've ever used. They stick to the arrow really well. AAE, probably want to take some notes from boning in terms of that. Just a little bit of an offset on these bad boys. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it in the camera, but a little bit of an offset, add a little bit of spin to that arrow, and a little bit of stabilization. Not too much, it's probably more like a 5 degree or 4 degree, more than a standard 2 degree. So I forgot to mention a couple things. One, I use, because I know the question will be asked, I use hot melt for my inserts, and I do not glue my outserts on. Or in the gold tip pierce line, this outsert just slips over the end of the arrow, and there's your insert / half out. I found it's a really strong bulletproof system. That outsert slips on top, and then when you screw in your point or your broadhead, it locks it in place. It's a really strong system in my opinion, and it's got a little bit of extra weight up there for your FOC. In addition, most of the products you see in this video will be linked in the description, at least those that are on Amazon. Amazon affiliate links, I get a few cents back for each dollar you purchase after clicking those links. So if you are interested in any of these things, from the arrows, the vanes, to the nocks, to the fletching jig, to any of that stuff, please click the link in the description to purchase it. So let's get back to the video. Let's go do some shooting of these new arrows, freshly fletched up, making some clones. And hopefully, probably this one, because this is my #1 arrow usually. We'll be zipping through an elk in about 3 months. Let's go do it. So, now that I've got, I believe 9 or 10 arrows that are perfectly freshly fletched, I need to go through and shoot all of them to verify that every single one of them is in fact fletched properly. Because every now and then you mess up and one vein just didn't stick for some reason and it flies off when you shoot it. So before I do any tuning or anything like that with my bow, I just want to verify that all of my arrows work. So let's do that. Wind's picking up, that's always nice. I'm just gonna shoot at 20 yards, maybe 25. I'll do 25. Verify that every arrow works. Ooh, lordy, haven't shot in a while. Well, that was a lighted knock, apparently. One that's not dead. You will notice that I'm shooting with my quiver on, with arrows in it. That's because I'm gonna be elk hunting. I'm gonna be walking around with my quiver on my bow. So, from now on, until my hunt, anytime I'm shooting, I will have the quiver on the bow, which is annoying, and I hate shooting with the quiver on the bow, but necessary. That one was good. So in addition to shooting these arrows, there's a very long list of stuff that I need to get finished prior to this season, prior to this hunt, including paper tuning the bow, nock tuning all my arrows, broadhead tuning. Before I do any of that, I need to check the timing to make sure that's good. I need to wax my strings. Basically just rebuild my bow from the ground up and verify that all my arrows are shooting like they should, on target, with broadheads. I need to purchase new blades for my broadheads because I wrecked a few last season on deer. In addition to that, I have a bunch of fitness goals that I'm trying to meet prior to this hunt as well. So what I've decided to do is every single week I have 6 days. I have 1 off day per week. 6 days where every single day I will be doing something to better myself for this elk hunt, whether that be shooting, lifting weights, running, rucking, anything like that. It's pretty flat around here, so there's not very many hills I can climb, but thankfully my gym does have a Stairmaster, which I guess it's better than nothing. But every single day, 1 break day a week, something to better yourself. And I think I want to do at least 2 of those days per week. 2 of those 6, I make it out and shoot my bow. Today is Monday, June 8th, I believe. So if I'm right, that means June, July, August. That is 12 weeks prior. I have 11 weeks until September, 12 and a half to 13 until I go on my hunt. So whatever 13 times 6 is, that's how many days of prep I have left. And that's probably not near as many as you think, not near as many as you want. I jerked that one. So far every arrow's shooting good. I'm gonna check all the veins for separation from the arrow after I've shot, and basically just go through the checklist of, is my bow shooting how it's supposed to? Everything feels good so far. It's shooting 1.5 inches low like it should at 25 yards when my sight's dialed to 20. But I'm just gonna systematically go through basically like I'm setting up a brand new bow in these next few weeks of videos. So stay tuned for that. That one went all the way through the target. Now after they've had a shot, maybe two, I'm gonna pull on all the fletchings, or all the veins I guess I should say. Ensure there's no separation happening between the arrow and the vein. And so far it's all looking good. Every now and then you'll miss a spot with your glue and it'll try to, when you pull on it, you'll see it separate. So all of these are good. I'm gonna swap out these last 3 arrows, and we'll go ahead and test these last 3 arrows prior to closing out the video. You'll have to let me know in the comments, what do you do to prep for a big physical hunt? Is it riding a bike, weightlifting, running, rucking, all of the above? Tell me what you do, what your workout routine is. Leave that in the comments, let me know. Maybe I'll incorporate some of it into my own workout or my own preseason prep, but so far, I think I got a pretty good plan lined out. I don't have it like planned out week by week what I'm gonna do, but I have good ideas. Starts off with getting my bow in working order. I need to get some wax on my threads for my tips. Pro tip, put some wax on your threads for your field tips and broadheads so they don't unscrew themselves. Pro tip. The other thing I'll have to do is check my third axis, because flat ground, it doesn't really matter too much, but I want to be hunting in some pretty serious hills, and that one has no knock. Pretty serious hills and mountains, so I will need to have a set third axis so I don't miss one left or right going downhill or uphill. These arrows look like they're flying pretty dang straight, which is good because that means they're paper tuned and they should be broadhead tuned. But got to go through the steps, make sure everything's good. I jerked that one pretty bad. That was not good. For those of you that have followed along on the Wheelie Bow Weekend series, I have, and I'm getting over in the past and currently getting over, pretty bad target panic. So it's very good to nip those in the butt when they happen. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a draw, aim, let down, try to alleviate that target panic that just showed up there on that last shot. So I'm drawing, I'm aiming, finger on the trigger, floating my pin, pulling, and then I'm gonna let down. Gotta do that anytime, for me at least, that's the most effective drill to get rid of my target panic. I gotta do that anytime I start to have a little bit of target panic when I'm shooting. Just do 1 or 2 of those and it goes right away. Nips it in the butt before it becomes an issue. So if you struggle with target panic, maybe give that a try, see if it helps. That one went a little bit low, not sure why. But anyways, I'm gonna go check all those fletchings, but thanks for watching. I will see y'all next weekend for Wheelie Bow Weekend, where I probably will be checking my bow's timing and paper tuning. Might give y'all a little sneak peek / pro tip onto how to use your, if you have a V3X or newer Matthews, how to use your stay afield system. It's pretty nifty, and you don't need to buy their stay afield system cable. It's literally just a string. But more on that next week. Thanks for watching. Peace. Gotta grab my dang arrows and get out of here before it starts raining again. Looks like it's about to.